Hollywood, California. An abandoned Tesla sat quietly inside an impound lot. At first, it looked like just another vehicle waiting to be processed. No one imagined it was hiding something that would launch a homicide investigation. When workers opened the car, they were met with a horrifying discovery. Investigators say they found decomposing, dismembered human remains concealed inside the vehicle. Within hours, detectives began tracing the Tesla's ownership. Every lead pointed back to one name: David Anthony Burke, known professionally as D4VD, a 21-year-old singer with millions of followers on TikTok. How could someone with a rapidly growing online career become connected to such a disturbing investigation? As detectives gathered evidence, prosecutors ultimately filed murder and sex abuse charges against Burke. But the discovery inside the Tesla was only the beginning. This investigation would uncover a timeline filled with unanswered questions, forensic evidence, and details that shocked even experienced investigators. What really happened? Who was the victim? How did an abandoned Tesla become the center of one of Hollywood's most disturbing criminal investigations? In this documentary, we'll examine the complete timeline, from the initial discovery and the investigation that followed, to the evidence presented by authorities and the criminal charges filed. This is the David Anthony Burke case. Several days after the grim discovery, investigators finally identified the victim. She was 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez from Lake Elsinore, California. The discovery answered one question, but it raised many more. How had she died? And who was responsible? Because of the condition of the remains, determining the exact cause and manner of death took time. Weeks turned into months as forensic experts examined the evidence and detectives continued piecing together the case. Then, prosecutors announced a major development. They filed murder and sex abuse charges against David Anthony Burke. According to prosecutors, they alleged the killing was premeditated and intended to prevent the teenager from exposing what they described as an unlawful relationship that could have jeopardized his growing music career. The allegations transformed the investigation into a case that quickly drew national attention. But investigators believed the evidence told an even deeper story, and the timeline was only beginning to unfold. None of this has been tested at trial. Burke has pleaded not guilty. His lawyers and family maintain his innocence. According to prosecutors, D4VD and Celeste Rivas Hernandez met in January 2022, when she was 11 years old. By November 2023, prosecutors allege an 18-year-old Burke began sexually abusing her. She was 13. On February 17, 2024, after her family reported her missing, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department traced a phone number in her records back to Burke. 2 days later, she returned home. By November 2024, prosecutors say the two had broken up, but continued communicating. April 22nd, 2025. According to prosecutors, a heated argument took place over text messages between David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Prosecutors allege that during the exchange, Celeste threatened to reveal information about their relationship. They claim she said the information could damage David's career and ruin his life. Investigators believe those messages became a major focus of the case. April 23, 2025. According to prosecutors, this was the last day Celeste was seen alive. They allege that David arranged for an Uber to pick her up from her home in Lake Elsinore and take her to his house in the Hollywood Hills. Prosecutors further allege that she was intentionally killed that same day. Investigators say her cell phone activity stopped on April 23rd. Because of that, prosecutors believe this was the day she died. But the investigation was only beginning. April 24th, 2025. Two major events allegedly took place. Tickets for David's world tour officially went on sale. According to prosecutors, David also purchased a shovel from Home Depot. They allege it was delivered to his home through Postmates. April 25th, 2025. The following day, David released his debut album, Withered. April 26th, 2025. According to prosecutors, this was the last day David ever attempted to contact Celeste. Investigators believe that after this point, all communication between them stopped. May 1st, 2025. Several days later, prosecutors allege that David ordered 2 chainsaws from Amazon. They claim the purchase was part of what they describe as an effort to destroy and dispose of the victim's body. These are allegations made by prosecutors. David has denied wrongdoing. May 5th, 2025. According to prosecutors, D4VD allegedly placed another order on Amazon. This time, investigators say the order included a body bag, a heavy-duty laundry bag, and a blue inflatable pool. Prosecutors allege the order was placed under the fake name Victoria Mendez.
May 8th and May 31st, 2025.
According to prosecutors, David allegedly returned to a remote area near State Route 154 in Santa Barbara County. July 7th, 2025. Nearly 2 months later, prosecutors allege that David ordered what they described as a burn cage from Amazon. Investigators claim the purchase was made using the fake name Victoria Mendez. July 29th, 2025. Surveillance cameras captured what prosecutors say was the final time David drove his Tesla. Investigators allege he parked the vehicle on a street just around the corner from his home and left it there. August 5th, 2025. Despite the investigation that prosecutors say was unfolding, David publicly launched his Withered World Tour. September 5th, 2025. More than a month after the Tesla was left parked, the vehicle was towed away. According to prosecutors, at that moment, no one knew what investigators would soon discover inside. That single discovery would change the course of the entire case and lead to the charges that followed. September 8th, 2025. One day after what would have been Celeste Rivas Hernandez's 15th birthday, the investigation took a heartbreaking turn. At an impound lot in Hollywood, workers noticed a strong, foul odor coming from an abandoned Tesla. Officers responded to the scene to investigate. According to investigators, the vehicle had been sitting at the impound lot for 2 days after it was reported abandoned on a Hollywood street. Inside the front trunk of the Tesla, investigators discovered badly decomposed and dismembered human remains. Authorities later identified the victim as Celeste Rivas Hernandez. According to court filings, her head and torso were found in one bag, while her arms and legs were found in another. Investigators determined the Tesla was registered to David. What started as a report of a strange odor had now become one of the most disturbing homicide investigations in recent California history.
September 16th, 2025.
1 week after the remains were discovered, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner officially identified the victim. She was confirmed to be Celeste Rivas Hernandez. September 17th, 2025. The next day, detectives served a search warrant at David's home. According to prosecutors, investigators found evidence in the garage that they believe was consistent with the dismemberment of the victim's body. They also allege the evidence matched an inflatable pool that contained multiple linear cuts. These are allegations presented by prosecutors. David has denied wrongdoing. September 19th, 2025. Just 2 days later, the remaining dates of David's Withered tour were canceled. November 2025. As the investigation continued, prosecutors say the first of 3 investigative grand juries reviewed the case. November 18th, 2025. Sources confirmed to ABC News that David was considered a suspect in the death investigation. November 24th, 2025. A court placed a security hold on the medical examiner's report. According to officials, the Los Angeles Police Department requested the hold. As a result, the victim's cause and manner of death were kept confidential while the investigation continued. December 9th, 2025. The medical examiner officially ruled Celeste Rivas Hernandez's death a homicide.
April 16th, 2026. After months of investigation, the case reached a major turning point. The Los Angeles Police Department announced that David had been arrested on suspicion of murder in connection with the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. He was taken into custody and held without bail. April 20th, 2026. Just 4 days later, prosecutors formally charged David with murder, continuous sexual abuse of a child, and unlawfully mutilating a human body. April 21st, 2026. 1 day later, Celeste's family spoke publicly for the first time. In a statement released through their attorney, they described Celeste as a beautiful and strong young girl who loved to sing and dance. Their statement ended with a simple request: "We miss her deeply. All we want is justice for Celeste." April 22nd, 2026. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner released its report. The report ruled Celeste's death a homicide. According to the findings, she died from multiple penetrating injuries. Investigators also documented traumatic injuries and severe decomposition due to the amount of time that had passed before her body was found. July 27th, 2026. After 5 days of testimony during a preliminary hearing, a judge ruled there was enough evidence for the case to move forward. David was ordered to stand trial on all 3 charges. The criminal case remains part of the court process, and David continues to maintain his innocence. The death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez shocked communities across California and left a family searching for answers. For prosecutors, the evidence tells the story of a carefully planned crime. For the defense, the allegations are false, and they say the evidence will ultimately prove David is innocent. Now, the next chapter will unfold inside a courtroom where both sides will present their evidence, and a jury will decide the outcome. Until then, the case remains one of the most closely watched criminal trials involving a rising music artist in recent years. If you found this documentary informative, consider subscribing for more in-depth true crime documentaries based on court records, investigative documents, and verified reporting. Every case has a story, and every story deserves to be told with accuracy, fairness, and respect for the victims.